Hey, I'm Kev. Welcome back to MotoGP 20. Has in free practice round Silverstone. We're just ahead of the Japanese riders Agura and Sasaki. Then we've got Alcoba, Tata, Yamanaka. Lots of experience riders up here. We've got Arenas, best of the veteran shoes in this category, along with Stone. And then we've got Foggia, Fanati, Bowters ahead of Mazia, Mino, Vietti, and Suzuki. The all-important 14th spot. Antonelli down in 16th. McPhee on home turf rounds out the top 20. We've got Binder in last. So let's see if we've actually made it through the qualifying two on this occasion. Looks like we have, because thankfully it was dry in the first practice sessions as well. So joining us is Antonelli, as expected, Salak, Fernandez, and Rossi as well. So welcome to Great Britain and the Silverstone circuit for two possible qualifying efforts. Normally takes one, no, and in practice, it felt like we really didn't push it around here. So there's definitely time on the table maybe to be like mid-14s or even lower than that. But unfortunately, we've got riders coming out the pit lane right in front of us. Got someone very slow as we go through Maggots and Beckett's. Very different on a motorcycle than in a car. And this first sector is where we were very slow in practice. Second sector we're pretty quick. Third sector as well. And then final set just depends what power mode we're on. If we're on 2, we're just a bit quicker. If we're on 1, we're just a bit slower. So as we go into Stowe, should be good overtaking spot in the race. And the Vale Club section as well coming up. Surprised me that is actually really flat out through Vale Club as well. Wide open on a Moto 3 machine. Especially compared to an F1 car where it feels tight and twisty, that section. On this it feels very wide open. And then through the Fearston, Abbey and Farm corners. Virtually flat out both. And now into the newish complex. It's a decade old now. Still call it the new comp, but it still feels new to me. Let's go through Village and the loop. Again, it should be good overtaking spots. And with that, through Aintree onto the Wellington Straight. As we approach the final sector of the lap. And pretty decent so far. I've been hitting all the points. What do we need to do now into Brooklands? Still treat it as a late apex corner on a motorcycle. And then Luffield. Going a bit wide, but then we can get on the power so early, like midway through the apex, and then Woodcoats, of course, easy for that. Let's head towards the line. 2:13, I'll take that. Especially as we're just aiming for mid-14s. But it means we get pole by 8/10 ahead of Arenas. Alcoba on the front row. What a superb qualifier from the Spaniard ahead of fellow countryman Mazio leads the second row. Ahead of Fanati and teammate Foggia, looking to bounce back from a very bouncy Austrian Grand Prix for him, unfortunately for the wrong kind. And we've got Yamanaka leading the third row ahead of Agura and Bowters. Tatai rounds out the top 10 ahead of Sasaki and Rossi. Then Fernandez, Mino and Salak. Then Antonelli and Suzuki, the Sync 58 guys once again struggling qualifying. So forth for Yeti, even though that's the Italian's best qualifying for quite a while on his VR46 machine. As it's a relatively short race here around Silverstone. I know 6 laps. It's quite a long circuit, lengthwise and time-wise for these bikes, but still it feels quite short considering how flat out the circuit is. But we have kind of 7 laps. Once again, you're going to be on power 2 for quite a lot around here. And I think we'll get away with soft tyres here. Even though track temp says medium rear, I think we can get away with soft. Because tyre wear doesn't feel like it's going to be a big issue around here, as medium means for everyone, soft, medium for Minardi, soft, hard for Agura, medium soft for Yamanaka, medium hard for Tata and Fernandez, they're going a bit harder, medium soft for Salak and Vietti as they try and work their way up the order. Medium hard for Albano, soft hard for Tuba, medium soft for Garcia, but medium seems to be the way to go for most riders. We'll see if we're struggling the last part of the race, just like in Austria, as medium soft for Lopez. As we rev it up, power 2, touch control 1. Perfect start. As we've got a short run towards Cops and it's pretty flat out at the start. In fact, it is flat out at the start. Let's see if we can hold on in this first sector for the hanger straight though, as we go through Maggots and Beckett's for the first time. Gotta be careful not to slide the rear too much through it, especially in this second part. So you can set up a good exit through Chapel onto the hanger straight. As Mattia 2/10 behind us. As Snapper up to 90th at about us, already sliding down the order of Belgium. Sasaki in 17th, McPhee in 21st on home turf. Expect much better from the Scot. Expect points from him in this race. He's already up to 19th, already rectifying that situation. As Pizzoli jumps up from last. As flat out through Club, past the Silverstone wing. As we're now 6/10 ahead, see that second set's still good for us. Well, that corner's like virtually flat out. Slight dab of the brakes, maybe we need to dab them a bit earlier. It's only back down to last, unfortunately, for the Italian. So we've got Lopez into the points, 14th. Through the loop. Use all that curb on the outside. I don't want to go onto the green stuff though. You can use the curves round here like Austria with 7/10 ahead of Mazia. Sounded like you got close going into the loop and then maybe ran a bit wide, avoiding us. As Cooney up to 24th ahead of Rodrigo, the Argentine rider struggling again in the race. As we struggle to hit the apex at Brooklands. As we've got Salek in 12th. And look at Suzuki, great start with Vietti as well, battling over 7th. The Italian Japanese rider from the 6th row of the grid has 1 lap down, 5 to go. And we just lead away by half a second ahead of Mazia and Fogger, the Airpod riders behind us. And then we've got Fanati, Mino, with Antonelli rounding out the top 10. So good start from the 6th row occupiers, all in the top 10 at the end of the first lap. Breaking way too much there. As Vetti up to sit back without Koba now. There's a bit of a nudge from Mazia. Fine, we'll put it in 2. As with Fee up to 16th, within striking distance of the point, as Fogger up to 2nd now. That's how we held up Mazia there. As through Stone, maybe a bit too flat out to make a move there, unless you're brave. As Agura up to 11th ahead of Lopez. Or not. Got a lift here in the race just because of the fuel levels as well. Fuel levels are really important in a race. You don't want to be too heavy like we were maybe in Austria. That's going to contribute to us being quite a way off the pace. Plus they're just incredibly quick. Like the quickest they've been all year, our opponents. Here it is, Anthony up to 8th as Alcoba drops down the order, but Fee into the points. Or not, as he battles with Raul Fernandez. So it really is a balance of the power levels during a race. You've got to be careful with the fuel put in as Fanati into the top 3. The Mazia has with 4/10 ahead of Fogger. On occasion, you maybe want to be around that kind of level of like 6 laps for it. But there are sections where you can drop it down to 0, like that complex we've just exited, like through Vale and Club. So I'm not sure if we are riding heavy at the moment. The way we're not pulling away, maybe we are. Let's head on to the 3rd lap here. Let's do a 15.3. Nino rounds out the top 5. That's the fastest lap as well, the Italian, 15th lap. Salak ahead of Aguro into 12th. Arenas into the top 10 of Alcoba. Superb qualifying for the Spaniard, but just like we find when Tatai qualifies as well, just falls back in the race. As Fernandez trying to hold on to a point ahead of Rossi. As Tatai down to 23rd, speaking of the devil. So 3/10 ahead of Foggia. Going to see if he makes a dive to the inside here in Stowe. Doesn't sound like it. What about Intervale? He's still right in our tail as Cooney up to 24th ahead of Tatai. That's Tatai really battling. Go down the order. With Napa as well. As Albano out the points in 16th is the Italian. Batting for his foe countryman Rossi. And so harvesting ahead of Fogg. It seems like again we got them at arm's length here. They're just doing enough to hold on to the lead. As Rodrigo into the top 20. Finally finding his pace, the Argentine rider at the halfway mark of this race. As he braked way too early there. Before going to make a dive. As Rodrigo up to 18 ahead of Rossi. Steps again, 3/10 back is Foggia. Maybe just being a bit cautious, Dennis, after previous races where he's made dives but they've just gone wrong. Think of Bruno, think of Catalonia, where he's chucked away valuable points in the championship due to being too aggressive. And it's crazy watching the replay for Bruno. Mazio was on his inside. He made it 3 wide and just slid into us. As pilot the 21st head of Garcia. So maybe cautious of doing that again as we do a 15-1, but Fanati with a 14-7. As we get into the second half of this race. Fanati down to 4th though. You know, in 5th, Arenas rounds out the top 10. Tatai battling with fellow Red Bull Rookies Cup graduate on shoot. That's Rossi in 19th ahead of the Yamanaka. Always got to be careful that last part of Maggots and Beckett's. As it sounds like we've got Fogger right in our tail now, does Stone. Does he defend the inside? He can't. Fogger's there. Trying to go around the outside, but the Leopard takes the lead. And there's 4 flat. It's all Fogger muscles us out. So we've got a battle Britain here then. So what will Stone do then here in second? He's in the Leopard sandwich. Mazia in 3rd. So that's not an overtaking spot in Abbey. Stanek in 11th ahead of Alcoba. Once again breaking early for Village. There's old Mazia down. Fanati up to 3rd. Anthony up to 7th. As once again another race, another Leopard that's fallen. So does Stone just sit here to the final lap? There's no doubt they've got similar pace, these two. Simonacco up to 18th head of Garcia. It's all into Luffield. Very close to the Italian. He's gone a bit wide on the exit. But he doesn't need to wait till the final lap. He's go through Woodcote, side by side. Onto the penultimate lap of the race. Oh, Stone led across the line. That's probably does a fast lap 14.4. That's what something to put in the back of the mind for the final lap then. Much better through Maggots and Beckett's. That's what we're talking about. Bit up to power 2 too late there. So won't get the move on 4 gear done. Fanati in 3rd behind. I'll be getting the popcorn out as the Italian. Expect the needs to maybe clash. So a bit wide from Fogger again on the exit. Oh, Stone with a bit better braking power into Vale. Once again, something to store on the back of the mind. for the final lap. There's 3 tenths back, 7 tenths back is Fanardi. He's dropping back the veteran behind. Just between these two for the victory here in Britain. Just like it was at Mugello. Foggia won on that occasion. Stone getting out of the power to Foggia, a bit lackadaisical on the exit there. That's allowed Stone to have a bit of a run here. As oh, he's got caught a second penalty to Stone. Catches up the Foggia too late. As he gets on the power hard through the off-field. As Alcoba back for 10th with McPhee. A great race from the Scot. The next 4 top 10 on home turf as head onto the final lap here. Fanardi with the fastest lap. Despite dropping back slightly, the Italian. Or Nikonite dropping back, the Italian right in it. Could be a three-way battle here. There's 6 tenths as Arenas battling with Sadek over 8th. Fanardi less than half a second behind. It's going the wrong way for Stone. The gaps. And nicely through Stone. A bit bumpy on entrance there. Again, bike does nicely grip to the apex if you brake early enough. Valen Club. Slightly battling further down the order. Stone, he's gained 3 tenths. Great second sector. To go through Abbey. And Farm needs to get a good exit out of the loop. As he breaks desperately into Village. And here it is, the loop. Not the best exit. It's out through Aintree, I think. The pod might have it. Let's go into the final sector. Stone on the power hard. But no, Foggia's got it. He's been Stone in another battle. As the Italian wins in Britain. But still another solid podium for Stone. As that's the best way to bounce back for Foggia with victory by half a second ahead of Stone, who's 6 tenths ahead of Fanardi, who rounds out the podium ahead of fellow countryman Mino. Vietti with a superb top 5 ahead of Suzuki. Lopez Sadak. Great ride by the Czech ahead of Arenas and McPhee in the top 10 after a poor qualifying. So you got Alcoba, Guwa, Fernandez, Arbolino and Tuba rounds out the points ahead of Rodrigo. He had a poor first half of the race but seemed to find his rhythm in the second. Cooney rounds out the top 20 as you have 2 retirements. Tatai in last ahead of Mazia and Antonelli as well down. 2 big riders in the championship gone. Has Stone leads by 117 points ahead of Foggia. He's up to second by a single point of teammate Mazia. And then we've got Suzuki in 4th, Fanardi in 5th, closing up on the Japanese ride and pulling away from Mino, who's up to 6th ahead of Antonelli. In Vietti, which is a single point by his fellow countryman now. And then Lopez and Arenas rounds out the top 10 ahead of McPhee. And we've got Sadek up to 13th. And now Cobra up to 17th. So tied in points with Arbolino now. And in the team's championship, they're lead the way by 47 points ahead of GoPro Honda team, or 13 points ahead of Sync 58, or 19 points ahead of VR 46, or 15 points ahead of Max Racing, as the top 5 are clearly above the rest. And you've got Anginetto, Stroglitzer, Snipers, Petronas Spirita, The sprinter. I keep saying spiritor, don't I? But it's sprinter. And then we've got KTM round out the top 10 ahead of Honda Team Asia, Grassini, Skull Rider, Avintia, and Prostel.
This second place finish is an excellent result for both him and the team, giving them hope for the following races.
So look at the reputation rise once again. Contract secure, that's good to know. And yeah, earned all the credits. So no proposals this time. Okay. As we advance the week. And head into the Gran Premio Octo di San Marino e della Riviera di Rimini. My God, that's a long name, isn't it? It's got new candidate, Angel here Suarez. Fortunately, we don't really need you, mate. As you may notice, research of Air is fully completed now. So we've got a bunch of engineers just sitting on their arse for the remaining 15 weeks of the year, it looks like. But superb outing once again for Stone. Not quite the victory, which is a bit disappointing. But into the San Marino Grand Prix, that championship lead is almost insurmountable. So you look at what's ahead. We've got Misano, Aragon, we've got Thailand as well. So we've got an appointment for contract renewal as well on week 40. And Motegi, Philippi and Sepang, and then the season ends in Valencia on week 46. So we've only got 7 rounds remaining. So only off the top of my head, that should be 175 points to play for. So for Stone, he could potentially win the championship around Motegi, around Thailand. But we'll see how it goes next time for a home race for the likes of Foggia, Fenati, for Mino as well, and Vietti. We'll see if they can fight back in the championship and close that gap to Stone. So thanks for watching. We'll find out next time.